Hey everybody, Ghost Cat here. Welcome back to Prototech or Bust, the series where I start from scratch and work to acquire Prototech of my very own. In today's episode, something appears to be missing. We locate a stray missile, and someone goes to great lengths not to share. So, without further ado, we are off like a herd of turtles. And remember, for more Space Engineers feline antics, do the things. Yep, you know the ones. Well, good morning, everybody. The sun is just rising here at our crash site on Pertam. Since we were together last, I've done a little bit of running around and checking out the ship, looking for places where there might be loot stored, and it looks like most of it was either destroyed in the crash or looted before we got here. I didn't really find a whole lot. I found some platinum ore, some silicon ore, a couple tier 1 tools, but that's about it. I also took the time to locate both of those Prototech gyroscopes. You can see one of them right there, the other one's in about the same spot on the other side. I managed to clear away the overlying material, at least on this side. The other side was pretty clear. It had all been destroyed in the crash, and now we need to extricate these from the wreck. However, I don't want to just grind them out and let them drop, because that's quite a drop, at least on this side. Not quite as much on the other, but still a hefty drop, and I'd hate to see them explode when they hit the ground. So I think what I'm going to do is build a quick little crane arm of some type on the alley cat, bring it on over here, and we can grab these and swing them around and get them attached to the alley cat so that we can get them back to space. So I'm going to get a move on that, and I'll be back with you folks in just a moment. Well, folks, here we are. Slapped a rotor on here, couple hinges, couple pistons, mag plate. Gave us a quick little crane arm to work with. I also put a programmable block on here and loaded up the piston and rotor keybinds script so that we can just use keybinds to maneuver this thing. So let's grab these gyroscopes real quick and we can get on our way. And there we go. We've attached to the first one. Let's grind it out of here. And there we are, just a little bit worse for wear. I'll slap a mag plate on here and set her down. And there she is, firmly attached. Now let's go grab that other one, get those batteries as well, and we'll get on out of here. Alright, let's strap this down real quick. There, that should do. Excellent, there's number 2. There we go, the second one is strapped down, however tenuously, and I think it's time for us to get off this planet. Alright, let's fire up our engines and get on out of here. Well, we apparently weigh too much to get off the ground with just one vertical thruster. I'm not sure why I have only the one. I'm gonna go see what's going on real quick. Apparently, one of them is not connected to fuel. Seems like this has happened once before. Oh, sure enough, she's been damaged. Probably when we got shot up that one time. Well, let's see what we can salvage to get her working. Just need some motors. Alright, sufficient motors have been acquired. There we go. Both of them are firing now. And let's try this again, shall we? Well, apparently even with two, we can't escape. We're gonna have to land and do something about this. Did you guys just see that? Is that another one of them missiles flying around? That certainly is. We've just taken a hit. We gotta get down quick. We gotta get ourselves more thrust. Alright, let's go see what the damage is. Looks like just some minor damage. Huh. Well, in any event, I'm gonna grind off this drill real quick and tap another thruster on here. And then hopefully we can get off this planet. Alright, the thruster's built. We're going to try to make it off the planet. We've got 65% hydrogen, so let's hope that's enough, shall we? And here we are, safely out of the planet's gravity well. Let's get headed back to the jump ship and figure out where we're going from there. It's always a comforting sight to see your ships against the blackness of space. Let's get the alley cat docked and figure out what we're going to do from there. Alright, the alley cat's docked. Let's come over here and grab the bobcat. And I think, instead of jumping all the way home, we're going to take a quick little side trip by this unidentified signal, see what's going on over there. Alright, our jump ship is prepared for an emergency get out of here jump. Let's go check out this signal. Here we are at about 10 kilometers out, a little less. That looks like one of those Factorum warships. And I can see his little buddy hanging out right there. So, I think we're going to go in, make some passes, see if we can take out their weapons, because that's what's really going to hurt us. And maybe if we can get their weapons, we can capture that big ship and whatever tasty bits it may have inside. And we are about to hit the 3-kilometer envelope, folks. Here we go. Well, that was a near miss, but I think we gotta get out of here. I think we may have bitten off a little more than we can chew. Well, folks, I no longer have any forward thrust. So, I think I'm going to hold off from attacking those warships anymore with this little guy. Because, yeah, we've been effectively trounced. And that did not take very long. Alright, well, let's get one of these thrusters turned so that we can have some forward thrust, and we'll make our way back to our jump ship, and from there, back to our home. So apparently one of the things that got damaged was my oxygen tank. And I am down to 4% oxygen. I don't think I'm going to make it, but luckily I've got a functional respawn point on this ship. So I'll come back to life. It's always a bummer when your life support gets damaged. And then it stops supporting your life. Funny how that works. And my oxygen has run out. And now, the slow march to death.
Health low. Your health is critical.
Luckily, I respawn right here. And here we are, back at our jump ship, with the flaming, smoking hulk of the Bobcat just hanging out, docked up, ready to go home. Well, I was thinking, on the long flight back from our encounter, that what I need to do is design a fighting ship that hits hard like the Bobcat, is very well armored, but is more printable. So, I think I'm going to work on developing a more printable, maybe you might even call it disposable fleet. The first thing I'm going to have to do is overhaul my welding array. I've got a few ideas, but I'm going to have to see which implements the best when we get back to our base. I also am going to need some sort of used ship recycling area. Maybe dig something into the asteroid where I can put a ship in there and close a gate, seal it up so stuff doesn't come flying out, and then I can turn on the grinders that line the walls and cook the thing down to scrap. So that's something I'm thinking about doing at some point soon. But first of all, we've got to let this jump drive charge and get back to our base so that we can get doing anything. But I think the next step is definitely going to be a more printable, recyclable combat ship. Something we can print up a couple of and then go out to one of these encounters so one bad run doesn't end the whole thing. Because I want that Prototech. We got to get it. I want to eventually build a flagship for our fleet. It'll probably start with what we've got here as far as the jump ship, with our production facilities and our Prototech jump drive, but I want it to have all Prototech of everything that you can get Prototech of. So that's going to be a lot of Prototech thrusters and batteries and gyroscopes and jump drives. So we've got a lot of work to do. Well, I should say, I've got a lot of work to do. But in any event, as soon as this jump drive gets spooled up, I'm going to take us home and we can start looking at what we need to do to take our next steps. So folks, back at the base, I've been taking a look at our welding array that didn't work out quite as well as I had hoped. I think the key here is going to be to put it on pistons rather than a hinge. So instead of the bottom jaw swinging out, it'll just drop down. And if I build a ship that has a connector at the top, I'll be able to take the blueprint and print the ship in layers from the top down until it is complete, and then we'll be able to rinse and repeat. That way, we can create a little ship factory rather than having to rebuild the one ship over and over each time, and if one gets wrecked, we'll just build a grinder pit and toss it in. In order to accomplish this, I am going to have to vastly increase the number of welders, basically making a ceiling and a floor completely of welders that'll gradually separate as the pistons expand. So I'm going to start jumping on this reconfiguration, and I will get back to you folks when I get her about wrapped up. Alright everybody, I went through and reconfigured our welding array, added a whole lot more welders, and expanded the booms that hold them so that they'll be up above all the welders and I could get extra rows in where the booms had previously been. Now it's time for my favorite part of building a welding array, watching it weld itself up. So let's do this. Unfortunately, we're probably waiting on the assembler to make all the components, so this might take a second. And here we are, folks. Our welding array has completely welded itself. I'm going to shut these off real quick before I go in there so I don't get zapped. And then we'll go take a look. Would you look at that? Wall-to-wall welders, ceiling and floor. Now I just have to stick a merge block in here, probably up in the top in the middle. And we can start building ships using our new welding array. And there we are. I did have to put a conveyor jumper over the block that the merge block's mounted to, because since that used to be a welder that connected this welder and that welder, we had to make up for it. But there we go. I'm gonna go grab some energy and then I'm gonna start framing out our new combat ship. And here she is, folks, the new ship that I just finished building. It's basically a ball of heavy armor with some turrets slapped on. It is printable using our printing array. However, it is sort of a two-stage process because of all the turrets on it. The first thing I do is print out the ship without the top or bottom turrets, and then pop on the projector and I can weld those up using the array. It just won't weld them all in one go because of attachment points and whatnot. So, first thing I want to do though is take this ship and give her a test. We do have one unidentified signal lurking over in this direction, so let's take this ship and slap it onto our jump ship and we'll head that way, see how well she does in her first battle. You may notice that I have yet to paint this ship. It is still built in the stock white that I normally use for building. So we'll see how well she does before we decide to go through and get too crazy giving her a paint job and whatnot. I do want to see how she performs before I take too much time with cosmetics. One thing about this new combat ship is because she's wrapped in heavy armor, it takes a whole lot of resources to print her off each time, so at some point soon we're going to have to set up some sort of auto mining or something so that we can recoup all these resources, in particular iron and cobalt, for the steel plates and metal grids needed for the heavy armor. But we'll worry about that at another time. Right now we're going to go check out this unidentified signal and see how well this new ship does in combat. And we are off to test our new ship. Alright, we've jumped in at about 13 kilometers distance. Going to get us pointed back towards home in case we need to do another emergency escape jump. Well, one thing I certainly will say about this new ship, it's definitely a little bit slower than the Bobcat. Hopefully that doesn't pose too much of a problem. Taking a look at our camera from about 6 kilometers out, this looks like a base. Looks like it's inside another asteroid, so let's go see what we can find, shall we? Crossing the 5-kilometer threshold, turrets are armed and set for weapons, so we don't accidentally destroy any tasty goodies. We're going to do a quick pass and see what the guns light up. See if she summons any reinforcements. I don't see anything lurking. Yeah, she certainly doesn't handle like the Bobcat. Might have to increase the thrust on her. One way or the other. It took us quite a bit of time just to slow down. Here we come for another pass. I'm surprised we haven't seen any reinforcements rolling yet. That worries me. Take out that beacon real quick. Looks like they got the turret. Alright. We appear to have taken out the weapons. What is that? I don't know, I don't like it. Looks like I missed it. Looks like this base has a couple different entrances. Let's move a little closer and see what we see. Well, it's definitely a Factorum base. Got their faction logo right there. Another one of those great big blast doors. And an entrance. Conveniently made by us. Alright, we've claimed the grid so that we will not despawn. Uh-oh, 3 warheads armed. Oh no, that sounds like we're being attacked. Whatever it is, they are hitting us hard. I don't like this. That's a lot of reinforcements. Well, there goes our control seat. I was fatally wounded by heavy weapons fire. Well, here we are. Back at our jump ship. And we don't have another attack ship, so we do have this little one. Let's see if we can use this to get back into that base before it detonates and maybe get some of the goodies that were inside. Although, I don't know, we're a bit far out. And I can tell you right now, this ship isn't going to survive long. We're basically just going to be trying to get back onto that asteroid and hopefully take out some warheads. And we are under attack. Well, I would say those warheads went off. There does not appear to be anything left of this base, which is unfortunate. I had hoped we could get some good Prototech. Fatally wounded by heavy weapons fire. Well, so much for that idea, folks. Let's head back to the base and figure out where we're going to go from here. And here we are, folks, back at the cat tree. While I was driving back from our last encounter, I had time to think about what I want to do moving forward. I think I'm going to figure out a way to retrofit the Bobcat so that it can be printed, which may involve expanding the opening size of our printer, but that shouldn't be too hard to figure out. I also want to set up this Factorum ship here that we captured so that it will function as a combat drone, because I think they have reinforcements. Maybe I should have reinforcements too. Might make things a little easier. Have someone to keep some of those ships off my back and maybe look out for the incoming reinforcements while I'm in looting bases. So I think I'm going to convert this ship to be capable of that, as well as converting our new combat ship that I built to do the same thing. I think that one should be pretty easy to retrofit. And if I can get both of those to work as drones, then we can fly the Bobcat into combat, because so far it's done the best out of any of my ships, and then we'll have the other two for support. Hopefully, that'll give us a bit more of a fighting chance against some of those warships. However, all that will be for another time, as sadly, our time has come to an end today. It goes so fast sometimes. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I certainly have. Next time, we'll work on getting some drones set up. Probably need to get some logistics going, some auto mining or something, or we're going to run out of resources. And hopefully we'll go take on some more Factorum and get some revenge. So, as always, until next time, have a great day.